I was recording for an hour before, but I decided to restart it. You know, like maybe I want to make this one a little shorter. Even though I have key lessons in the other one, this and that, I'm willing to show you guys. You know, again, I'm going to go through this again because I restarted the video and I'm going to basically like more of like a trade day recap. I started recording around 9:30 right here. Market pushed down lower. I didn't take any form of setups. Why? I didn't see anything that presented my system. I went over, Mondays, not really my typical days to be winning, especially on the express accounts. Monday's more of a, hey, like we're hitting majority of time break even. Thursdays, Tuesdays, hit or miss. Wednesdays, good days. Fridays are good days. Another thing I talked about was following your system. Like if you don't see a setup that isn't presenting your system, don't take it. I saw a setup right here on the 1 minute. This inversion for early up. We failed to have sponsorship. We failed to come and sweep this low. Even though we were really close by a couple points, we failed to sweep the low and then show rejection and push up and then close above and give us that model that we want to see. We didn't take it. Same thing here. With the 2 minute time frame, we had a 2 minute inversion for early gap. We failed to close above, have strong displacement, close above the the change in state of delivery here, and then continue in our direction. No trade. You have to be patient. You have to be picky, and you have to have that sort of like dilemma. Like, hey, if we're not trading, if we're trading our system, don't take these setups. And another thing I was talking about, like on combines, like some trades I know are B plus. Some people take those. I don't. Why? Because again, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if I'm taking setups on my funded account that are only A plus, why shouldn't I do the same on combines? And maybe on the combines I'll just risk a little bit more. And another dilemma was like, hey, if I'm trading, hold on, this looks good. Let me see if this is still holding. Yeah, it's not. Another thing too was like, hey, if I'm gonna take a trade on my funded account and I'm anxious, why am I anxious? Like why have I been feeling anxious? And it's because on your express accounts you're taking A plus setups, but on the combines you're taking like B plus setups. So whenever you're taking those B plus setups, you're like programming your mind to be anxious whenever you're taking A plus setups. Why? Because you're dealing with a lower quality grade setup, and you're putting yourself through that mental pressure. Like even if it's on a combine, even if you don't care about that money, you're still dealing with that trade. You're still taking that setup, so you're still forcing bad habits in reality. And that's one thing I realized is like, hey, I'm not willing to do that shit. I'm not willing to put myself in a position like that, where I'm over here taking bad setups and I'm over here forcing myself to, really deal with this. So, let's see if we can hold this, and then I'm taking it, on the combine. I think this is an A plus setup. I see my system again. That's why I'm actually trying to take the setup. That's why I'm actually believing in it, because again, it's following the system. Oh my gosh, there we go. So if I have a 50-point stop, it's going to be down here. Again, waiting for the close, not forcing it, not entering too early. Only enter too early if we continue to have strong displacement. So this kind of closes like that on the 15-second. I might take it right now. Yeah, we're having strong displacement. Wait for a little retracement. Are we going to get that? We are not. So I want to enter before the market gives us that break-even point. Reaches that break-even point. Because again, once we do reach that break-even point, I see the market continuing. As long as we close, I think we're good. Even though the entry is a little shitty. It's all good, So yeah, just be patient, bro. Be patient. Patience pays. Nah, we're about to reach the break-even point. I'm going to take another setup here. break even. A little bit, might be a little too soon on the fundeds here. But I mean, it is what it is. You know, we hit the break even point. You got to go break even. You hit break even. This one, we're not going break even. We might form a 2-minute fair value gap. We have this one also, so probably did form it on the 1 minute right now. Yeah, we already have it down here, so just gonna draw my stops right here. On the 3 minute, we're forming it too. You would want to see this fair value gap hold. If not, then we're probably gonna get stopped out, and that's why that break even point is so crucial. Maybe we blow this combine here, you know. So yeah, it is what it is. You know, you have to really accept the risk, and that's why you take your system trades and you learn and you grow. But you also have to have patience, and you have to have trust in your system. You have to have belief. That's why I'm holding this trade, even after reaching that break-even point, because again, I have a strong conviction on the draw. But if it doesn't play out the way I want it to, then it is what it is. You know, it's fine. I waited for everything, and maybe I don't get rewarded, but I'll learn why I didn't. And that's the key belief you have to have, and that key thoughts you have to have whenever you're trading is like, hey, maybe this trade doesn't play out, but I followed my system, I followed my rules, and I'll learn from this trade. I'm going to collect it, use it as a way to improve my system, and that's what you have to do. And we did have SMT at the highs, but I wasn't focused on it. So maybe that SMT did save us on the funded, and it could have saved us on this trade, especially with how ES and NQ had an SMT at those highs. So that is what I'm looking at now. You know, ES swept these highs while MNQ never did. So if we do get stopped out, we understand why now. And what we could have done better is go break even. And yeah. Market is really more range bound here, so we have to just be patient here. The fill could have been a lot better also on this trade, man. Let's go to the 5 minute. Let's zoom out. Sometimes you have to zoom out, guys. You can't be too zoomed in, and that's one thing I'm learning, you know, like especially when I'm trading. Zoom out a little, bro. There's no point of trying to be so zoomed in, this and that. We had a 2 minute change in state of delivery. Let's see if this holds too. It's 2 minute IFVG. And this right here. And just wait. You just gotta wait, bro. And maybe if we traded the stronger asset here, we would have had a likelihood to reach our take profit or be able to go break even sooner and not be afraid, you know. If we took the trade on ES, you know, ES met all those highs and then eventually it started to reverse, you know. So it met that 30-minute SIBI and then it reversed. So if we took the trade on ES because it was a stronger asset and it wasn't manipulating those lows while NQ was, we would have had a higher likelihood of what? Meeting our target while also going break even and being able to have some form of leverage on the trade and be able to meet the take profit. So as simple as that. NQ, you know, we're showing weakness here. We're not really showing strength. We're not really having strong distribution from the low, or I mean from the BISI. And again, the market doesn't care about this. You know, the market cares about its own form of you know, delivery and the algorithm. You know, but that's really it. You know, the market doesn't care about your stops nor your take profits. It does what it does, and I should have been able to analyze that sooner, and I should have been able to anticipate that and use it to my advantage. But again, it's a learning experience in the process, in the making, and again, you're just only getting better over time. So like, you have to view it as a form of leverage to improve yourself. the delivery also today hasn't been the best. Maybe I should have just been able to anticipate that and understand like, hey, maybe break even would have saved us a little bit earlier, but 9 times out of 10, sometimes on a day like today, you need that, you know. But yeah, now we're going back up. Let's see if we can have another little order block form, a form of mitigation, the mitigation block. So just being patient, honestly, holding this trade and managing risk is the most important thing you can do. So just patience pays, be disciplined, allow yourself to grow, allow yourself to have room for error, which is very, very important. And just patience pays, young man. That's what they all say. That's what all the greats say. So let's wait. Very, very slow delivery from the market. So, and a lot of people will be like, hey, why don't you move your stop loss right here now? You know, we have to break above here in order for this to be right here now. And I'll probably go break even once we reach these highs, if we do reach those highs, you know. If we do break above here, reach those highs, go break even after that. Our target is at 1550. And yeah. Having a rejection again, which isn't a good sign, honestly. I'm gonna see all this right here. Hold. And then you want to see this break past right here. Like that. Yeah, I don't like that. Alright, we're gonna load the risk to 800. I don't like that form of I don't like how we're not having strong rejection here. Even though I said it was gonna be up here, but again, you have to be able to manage risk and understand like, hey, if we don't move here, we're probably not gonna move at all. We're probably gonna come down lower and disrespect it. So yeah. Especially with how we displaced above here. All this right here. We need to continue and hold it and have speed and displacement above it. If not, we're probably gonna be cooked. So yeah, even though it's on the 15-second time frame, it's still, again, the same type of price delivery. And yeah, because again, we already delivered into this. We swept the low also, and we pushed up. This it should be a retracement, but all that this next candle should be strong displacement above and continuing past this. That's what I'm seeing here, you know. And if we break past this, we're likely to what? Continue lower, break past that low, and reach for these lows and reach for my original stop loss. There's no point of having it down there anymore than if we're gonna invalidate this and continue to my stop loss. Even though you can't soup this, but again, we already retraced, souped again, and we should push up now. This should be a retracement to then eventually break past tiers and then re-deliver back into equilibrium of the range and then push up. Simple as that, bro. So yeah, we should break past that, break past these highs too if we want to be bullish. Very sloppy delivery, I won't lie, but again, sometimes your system, some models present better delivery while the other ones don't, and you have to be able to be patient and withstand that and manage the trade accordingly. That's very, very crucial. Again, YM is better break past those highs. ES is better break past those highs. What am I going to do? Probably going to have to move my stop loss to break even. And that's the honest truth, bro. Even though I don't want to move the stop loss here to break even, I'm going to have to, bro. Why? Because we're about to reach into that 30-minute CB while NQ is not even near it. You know, we're forming another form of SMT down there. And boom, we already met it. This goes break even now. Even though I don't want to. I don't want to go break even, but I have to. The market is telling me. The market is telling me I have to go break even though the break even point is up here. You have to be willing to have other forms of break even points. The market is having strong displacement here, and you're able to understand why you should go break even. Why should I go break even? Why? Because we're reaching into that PD array while the other ones aren't. I mean, this one isn't. The other ones are. It doesn't make sense for me to stay in this trade and not have it at break even if the other ones are going to reverse, sweep, reverse, and this one isn't going to sweep and it's just going to simply reverse. There's no point. My target is not going to be met to then eventually have a reversal from there. While the other ones already met the target, they're already reversing. This one is correlated with that one, so it doesn't have to go and sweep. So that's why it's very, very crucial to manage your trade. And then we also swept this high. So yeah, the only way for us to go and meet that target is if simply we're lagging behind and this one wants to catch up and the other ones just continue displacing past it. And That's the honest case scenario. And then the other one starts to stall, and the other one is right there next to the target, and it reaches, and then eventually goes back to in sync, and that's it. It meets my target, and we go in sync. And then we eventually meet break even. A lot of y'all be like, oh, why don't you move your stops to break even now? Why don't you move your stops? Oh, why don't you take profit? Why don't you take profit? You know, like, you met the high, bro. Just go take profit. You have SMT at the highs. No, patience pays. Having discipline. We're LARPing all 2026. I told you guys. Did I go break even too soon on the other trade? No. In my honest opinion, I did not. When break even, market came back down. I would have not been able to withstand this drawdown, or I would have, but I wouldn't want to withstand this drawdown, especially with how my entry was. It was even higher than this one, you know, especially on the fundeds, and then the combines I'm so close to passing. I wouldn't want to, you know, like, it's just so close to break even point, like a 1 point away, you know, like, there's just no point, in my honest opinion, to take this setup on the fundeds. On this one, I could really care less. I'm entering a little bit earlier. And again, just look at the delivery, bro. It's not really the best. But once you break past this high, you enter, you know. You face some drawdown and you push up. And look, this trade, this account, I won't lie, this account it has a lockout feature. We locked out twice, and then the other ones we did a lot better, you know. But this one we had a little bit of a trouble, because again, we would get locked out a little bit earlier, and then like the first trade would be bad, you know, and then the second trade would be like the actual winner, and that would be the second trade, or the second trade would be the actual winner, but be the trade that actually followed the system, while the first one wasn't. And that's what I was having to deal with last week. So I kind of changed that, and, you know, decided like, hey, this is the only account that I'm really low on balance. I need to like do better past this one, and that's kind of what I've been doing. So yeah. Am I gonna move my stop loss? Am I gonna trail it? No, I'm gonna leave it. Even though we are rejecting here, we are meeting the 30-minute PDRA on MNQ. It's this high right here. Watch me show you guys. Yeah, I'm trying to LARP. That's why I'm trying to LARP, and maybe it backfires. Maybe LARPing backfires here. So let's see if we get cooked for LARPing here. I keep doing that. I need to stop. Let's see if we get cooked for LARPing. Am I mad I didn't take this on the fundeds? No, bro. Like, sometimes, again, guys, you have to realize, you know, like, I'm making progress one way or another. You know, even if I did hit break even on all my accounts, I still would have been satisfied, and I still would have been watching this trade, even if it did play out. Am I mad? Am I taking this on the combine and not making any money on the fundeds? No, bro. Like, you can't have those certain thoughts, you know. Like, and I'm like anticipating, like, maybe if someone comments this, you know, or if one day someone has a question like that, and I can just redirect them to this video. Every single trade you take, every single annotation, every single tape reading session is a form of leverage that you can use to improve yourself, and it's a form of leverage you can continue to improve yourself in. Here I want to see if we have a 5-minute PDRA. So we do have a 5-minute PDRA forming in 3 minutes. 3 minute also. Is this worth holding? We're showing strong rejection here. Do I want to move my stops? I'm debating now, because again, if we aren't able to hold above that black line right here, then I'm kind of cooked, you know. But if we're able to break past here, I think we should be good. And we have to have a candle closure, you know. Can't be like that, you know. Showing rejection, but we have to have candle closure, and we have to continue. And it's not giving us that right now. See that? It's not good. It's not good. Not a good sign. Maybe he wants to retrace and then push up higher. But then again, I'm missing out on potential profits if I'm not trailing. Because again, we're at like what, 1.8, 1.2. What is it at? Can't even see it. Let's move it up a little. 1.1, 1.2, and I'm aiming for 1500. So like we're like right there. We're like minus 300. But I see us. YM's pushing. We should start pushing. Come on. Nah, it's rejecting. Yes, is MNQ is kind of showing rejection here. But I think like in the next 5 minutes we probably meet it. You know, it's a significant high. You know, like the market is drawing towards it. Like it's like a magnet, and when the market is like reaching for a magnet with like this with strong displacement, is likely going to meet it, but at the end it's starting to like burn out. So a lot of people tend to like get afraid, you know. You tend to get afraid of, you know, the burnout and the delivery from the burnout of the range, or the, you know, the price delivery of the end of the move, and that's what scares people, you know. But for me, I've seen this too many times where majority of the time it does meet it. So, and again, it's following the system, so why not have patience? Why not have confidence? So yeah, that's really it. Even if it does come all the way down to break even and hits me out, I'm cool with that, bro. I'm cool with that. I was just joking. Market. Come on, bro. Like, don't do me like that. I was just joking, bro. Like, you gotta meet my target. I'm larping way too hard, bro. I'm larping way too much. I need to chill. It should at least meet the buy set objective, and then reject. And if it doesn't, then that's fine. So if we meet the buy set objective, I'll probably trail. And then if it doesn't go a little bit higher after that, I'll probably trail even harder. So, and we're right there. Boom. That's it. That's the trade. That's the $1,500 trade a lot of people tend to be looking for whenever they're trading combines, and we just hit that. On the fundeds, we didn't hit that, and then these only have like one more trade. So I'm just trying to trade them with the funded. This one's cooked. Maybe we can do a video where we get this one at a drawdown or a low balance type of trade video. So that's really it. And yeah, y'all seen me larp. Y'all seen me make around 1,500. I'm gonna journal this trade. Probably gonna go to the gym, go for a walk with my dog, text my girl, probably hop on the phone with her, and review my playbook, review my lesson log, and then what else? What else can I do today that will improve my trading? Probably watch this video a couple times, and yeah, that's really it. I want to show you guys the other video because again, I was just like, patience pays. So let me do that real quick. Let me find it real quick. Right here. I was larping the whole video, bro. Alright, so we were larping the whole video. You can't even see my face cam. Wait, hold on. I kind of look the same. We're gonna do a little tapering session on the market here, and I didn't put myself trades for today. Yeah. Just looking at all the confluences here that I have, and I'll do like reality. The best move would have been whenever we swept all this right here and we started to push down lower. I kind of messed that up. But the main thing I just didn't like was how we didn't sweep this high. And if we did sweep this high, potentially to then move down lower would have been more of a better case scenario. And that's like one of the reasons why I didn't like this setup for some reason. So I'm going over why I didn't like the setup. Very, very crucial. A lot of traders won't tell you why they don't like certain setups. They're just like, oh, I just didn't like because it was my intuition. No, I'm telling you guys why I don't like it. We didn't sweep. We didn't have any form of manipulation and sponsorship behind that low or that move lower. When the market moved down lower, even then, like I really couldn't find something at market open to push us down lower. I mean, I was taking a shit too. I was taking a shit. But again, we have the data wick here. I was taking a shit, bro. I wasn't even looking at the charts. I was on my phone scrolling. Oh, and then I'll talk about my higher time frame. Here on the higher time frame, we have a daily what? I don't know if I can see it. We have a daily SIBI here. We need to retrace to then move down lower. We're inside of a, I forgot what even are we inside of? A monthly PDA, monthly BISI. I won't lie. This is horrendous. Again, what I was saying here was you can't blame price action. I see a lot of traders saying, oh, we have bad PA. That's why I'm not winning. That's why I'm not doing this. And I literally showed you how to deal with bad PA, even in your trade, even if your trade is backfiring on you, even if your trade is not working out. I literally show you guys how to deal with bad PA. Some days you're going to hit break even too soon, like I did right now. Or some days you're going to let it hold. Some days you're going to let it run. And you can hit your UTP. And that's what I did on a combine, but not on the fundeds or the combines that are about to be passed. And I'm not even like trying to ego or anything, but like, I'm just telling you guys the truth. What happens? Some days that trade doesn't work out. Some days I'll probably get stopped out on that type of setup. But again, it's getting me closer to becoming a better trader following my system. And that's the main thing I'm trying to talk to you guys about is following your system, because you're collecting data towards the system. And if I was to take that on a funded and I was to hold it next time, I will have a little bit more confidence in the system trade like that. Let's see what else I'm doing. I'm just waiting for a setup. We're sweeping sell side, but we're not really moving. Talking about the inversion order block here. I created it with precision, and over time it just takes time, collecting data and then reviewing and analyzing what you like more. Facts. That's facts. That is true. Again, you have to trade the way you want to trade or the way that suits you the best. Like I see a lot of traders trying to trade only because they have this person making this amount of money. You see that shit online, bro. Like they're messing with you mentally when in reality you're not a scalper, bro. Maybe you're a swing trader and you're over here trying to be a scalper. You're trying to buy this guy's course, trade this way this guy has been trading, for like the last couple of years. But in your situation, you can't scalp. You don't have time to scalp. You don't you know, you're unable to like be on the monitor, you're unable to be on the charts for that long. You know, you have to go do something, or you have to go, you're unable to like withstand the, you know, the high velocity of these trades. You know, maybe you're a swing trader, so go find someone that swing trades and go invest in yourself also. All right, so we're sweeping, not really sweeping, but we're reaching into this PD array. We have such a big strong candle again. After this one probably isn't gonna have much volume for the 10 a.m. open, which is showing. So going over the 10 a.m. open, having such strong displacement on this candle, the next candle is probably gonna what, just stall around, wait for that BISI to be created, and that's what happened. And that's why I needed to see the sweep to then eventually push us up higher into that BISI. Because again, if I was gonna be trading that 1 minute inversion, there's no sponsorship behind that move. I need sponsorship behind my moves, and that's kind of what I'm looking for here. I was talking about this trader here, how it's forming, and look, that's what a lot of people do. Y'all do well on certain setups y'all miss. I'm like, oh my gosh, I missed it, bro. Facts. Brother, oh brother, this guy stinks. So I'll be watching something else. Things. I don't be hating about it. That's true. Some people just don't know how to trade, bro. They just don't have discipline, and that's the main thing you need in trading. I was looking at the setup, seeing if it does qualify for my system, and I'm over here logged in. Like, hey, it doesn't look like it's following the system. I'm seeing some error here, and even if we are moving, I'm not taking this. Why? Because we're looking for the system to be presented, and we don't see anything being presented here, so we're not taking it. I'm just watching it, tape reading. Targeting that 15-minute early gap. If that low, your immediate rebalance right there for that low. Seeing if the market wants to reach that low and then eventually move down lower. That's what I like. That's what I like. Pushing. We need to see this low get swept. It will never happen. See if we'll beat that high. Again, I'm not taking this. I fear there's going to be better setups throughout the week, so I'd rather just wait. Another thing being long term, thinking throughout the week, bro. Like, how many times do you take a setup one day, you know, during the beginning of the week, and next, you know, towards the end of the week, you don't even have any more capital, and those are when the best setups form. You know, you have to understand the days that are high probability, understand the days that you have an edge in. Same thing with the weeks. Like, bro, it's more to this shit than just like taking a setup, you know? MNQ is showing the strength here. YM looks weak. ES looks kind of strong, but it's showing more rejection to the downside. So it does look a little stronger, but this would have been already a 1-to-1, I believe. Yeah, we're at a 1-to-1. See if it's a 1-to-1.5. And no, we're not at a 1-to-1.5 yet. So let's see if we can get to there, and then eventually maybe a 1-to-2 if you took this trade. Maybe some people did take this trade, but again, not for me. We didn't sweep. Didn't have, you know, like a sweep here. You know, if we did have a sweep with some form of rejection, then I would have taken this trade here. It would have looked really nice, in my honest opinion. I just didn't like how we had manipulation, no sweep. I went over why I didn't like it. You have to understand why you don't like certain setups, and that's what makes a system. Because again, a system is created by what? Only waiting for certain confluences to form to then take that certain trade. There's different forms of ways that trade will form, so there's different models, and again, that's how it forms, bro. Real shit. Went to the restroom, going over this trade, going over my analysis here, what I'm waiting for, this and that. Market's chopping around, forming, you know, a 2-minute civvy, waiting for what the rejection to push us down lower here, and eventually you can see there, boom, waiting, not taking anything, being patient, waiting for that 2-minute. Very indecisive candles, honestly. Waiting, very indecisive. See, if we would have closed, why didn't I take it here? Even though we didn't have that body closure, some days I still enter a little bit earlier. But again, why didn't we form even after we had the sweep? Why? because again, failing to what? Have strong displacement. Having strong displacement, once we break above the fair value gap and we have strong displacement and we have the body candle stalling around here, I'm willing to take that. Why? Because you create a lower time frame fair value gap on the lower time frames, like maybe the 15 or 30 second, and the market just slowly retraces. And that's why we see that big wick, and a lot of people get scared. But again, the majority of the time, it's going to hold. It's going to start stalling around, then push up, and then reach your break-even point and have strong displacement. Or if we would have maintained bullishness around. But here, we didn't have that. See, we didn't have that. We were just like slowly chopping. Then I might have considered, but see? Again, the candle has 2 minutes to close. A little bit of a while. It's a lack of strength. What are we down here, bro? But even then, like, how many times do these type of inversions get disrespected, I was going over the bear scenario. We reached into the 30-minute SIBI here, but on YM, it just doesn't look good, And again, we fell into sweep the highs and then push down lower. So many times, again, we didn't sweep the high. So again, not really my type of setup. And we're also inside of the higher time from PD array on the 4-hour. And we're sweeping the lows. What does it look? It looks more bullish to me. No trade idea, really. Even though this would have been a really good setup if we closed above and then we started to push up, that would have been my type of setup. That would have been my type of trade. Now we form another one. Again, I don't really see the market moving with speed. Even though we're building low resistance here, there's no speed behind this. Building low resistance versus high resistance, understanding what type of market environment you're in. Whenever you have low resistance, the market does usually move with speed to your target after you form, your entry model or whatever, or you form that change in state of delivery, and you saw that real time. So that's basically really it. I'm going to end this video here. It's already a little bit too long. But yeah, we reached a 1 to 8.8 on this combine. On the funded accounts, we did take it, but we did lock ourselves out here for today, just taking a little smart break even, which is something I'm totally fine with. Again, I'm going to be posting more trade recaps, but this is more of like a weekly thing, and this is more of like a live trading session here. Because again, I was at first live trading, showing you guys, a market open, but I didn't see anything I liked, so I ended the session, I restarted it, found something I did like, took it, showed you guys, and that's pretty much really it. Now I'm gonna have to journal this one trade I took on both my funded and then my combine here. And of course, we had different results on both of them, because again, I managed them differently, and you can see that here. So that's pretty much really it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Drop a like, comment down below if you did learn anything. And again, I'm building a private Discord that I will be, eventually offering, live trading like this. And that's just, that might come out in a couple of months. Right now it's still in the making, and I'm still trying to prove a little bit more consistency. So like I want to show you guys, like more proof of concept, and just give, show you guys more results, honestly. So maybe when we're max allocated, getting max payouts, whatever, this and that, and then, in a couple of months I'll open it up. But right now I'm still trying to make it, and it is public right now, so I'm gonna have to archive it real quick and try to just archive it really, and just, that's really it. Make it over again, just copy and paste and upload it whenever it's ready. So I'm not gonna launch it yet. I'm gonna keep it a little bit more private, still work on it. And if you want to join the free Discord, I'll do my analysis there. So yeah, peace.